right, here we are. What's up, folks? It's your man Jay, and I know you saw the event on the Microsoft Surface Duo 2 and just the Surface Duo period. Man, impressive, very impressive. So obviously we have an exclusive. I'm gonna have to call this cat an exclusive because he don't rock with me like on these. We gotta get him on a regular for the live streams now. He didn't got all big time. What's up, GG? Everybody, I see what's going on. Malik, what's going on, man? We got we got Night Tech in the house, man. He's here to bless us with his presence today. What's been up with you, man?
What's good? What's up, man? Just spending time with my family, man. Living life, watching the kids grow up.
That's what's up. That is what's up. So, man, wow. I know y'all saw the event, and it was incredible. I gotta start by saying that it was incredible. I think the now obviously Microsoft decided to send out all these Surface Duos and devices to the same people all the time, no shade. So yeah, it's a bunch of Surface Duo videos out there. I'm not watching any of them because I'm waiting to get my own. And pre-orders are up. You know what I mean? You can go ahead and get your pre-order on if you decide to pre-order. It comes out. You should have it by October 5th, but the date is pushing back really fast. And we're focusing on the Surface Duo 2 to start, but we're going to cover the other Surface stuff that was announced. But the Surface Duo 2 in particular is selling out quick. It's the 512 is already gone. It's already out of stock. So it's going to be interesting to see how those go straight to the internet and go up for sale, because that's what people are going to do. They're going to just pop them up for sale. Now, Night Tech actually showed me something that I didn't even know about until right before this stream, and we're going to get into it. I got it all queued up so I could show you and not just tell you. He brought it to my attention. I didn't know about it because I had my appointment. So when I came back, he hit me up. I said, let's get this thing going. So we're going to talk about the value of your current Surface Duo and if you should get rid of it or not to move on to the Surface Duo 2. There's a couple of reasons for that conversation. We'll discuss the other Surface Duo devices because it's more than just the Surface Duo 2. Yeah, it's a whole bunch, man. It's a whole bunch going on. BW1, what's going on, man? I see all you guys. Pristine Tech, what's up? Everybody's coming in. Joseph, I see all you cats. What's going on, man? So we got a little bit to cover today, and since Night Tech is taking time, I got to get him for everything I could get him for. I got to hold him down for a long time on a stream. We don't get to chop it up that much no more.
Yeah.
So, the Duo 2, let's just go straight to it. They went in. I got a screen I can share with you real quick, and then we'll go back and we'll get things going. So the Duo 2, the 512 gig is already gone in both models. It's gone. And I refreshed to go in to check out. I went for the Obsidian, and I went in to check out with the 512, and it's gone. By the time I did the thumbnail for this stream and got back over to check out, it's gone. So that eliminates that for me. I was like, man, that sucks. But I'm gonna hold off and I'm gonna wait and see what happens. See if they get more in stock or whatever. So
yeah, I got mine. Yeah,
he did his quickly. I was when you were messaging me, I was actually at my doctor's appointment. So hey, we're gonna talk about it. So first thing I want to say is I'm gonna tackle some of your comments. And the first comment I think is, no disrespect, but I think this is lame already, because how could it be overpriced once again when they got more options this time, and it's actually a better device this time? So the fact that you feel it's overpriced, respect, Mario, but I don't think so, because the current Surface Duo, while it came in overpriced to some people, the only thing that made a miss for this was the software, and now they fixed it. They fixed it. So even the current Duos is running smooth. So Night Tech, what do you feel about Mario saying, hey, it's overpriced again?
It's not. I don't feel like that it's overpriced, because if you really think about what you're getting, you have to compare it to everything else that's out there, which is, it's technically, a lot of people are grouping it with a foldable. It's technically not a foldable. It's actually what is it called? A dual screen device.
It's a Surface. Yeah.
So it's a Surface. It's a dual screen device. It's not a foldable because it's not one screen. It doesn't just fold, but it has all the specs. It has the latest processor. It has, you know, it might not have 12 gigabytes of RAM, has 8. It does give you all three storage options, 128, 256, 512. They gave you the cameras, the three cameras that everybody was asking for. It gave you a better display. It gave you 90 hertz. So technically, okay, everybody said it was overpriced last year because it had an older processor.
Yep.
Basically, and it had one camera.
Yep.
Okay. So say if you take that into account and you even drop it down to say $899, right? $899.
Yep.
Come 2021, where we're at right now, you have all the latest specs on it. So if you can charge, what is it, $1,700 for a Galaxy Fold 3, which is just a minor update, you know, upgrade from the Fold 2.
Speak on
Why
it.
can't you charge $100 more for this?
Speak on it. See, the problem with comments like this, and again, Mario, hey, love, bro. Much love, much respect. But I disagree by saying it's overpriced. For one, we don't have it yet. And everybody always complains about specs. How could this be overpriced? It's priced right in line, and technically it offers more than the Fold. You get real multitasking on here. I think it's comical at best when people come with comments like this first. And again, yo, listen, I'm just telling you, no disrespect, you're not wrong in what you're saying. Anybody who feels like it's overpriced, you are not wrong. You are not wrong in what you're saying. It's just a matter of opinion. I don't think the Surface Duo is overpriced now because they added a 512 version, and people are going to compare it to the Fold because it folds. But even now, the current Surface Duo is more functional than the Galaxy Z Fold devices. They're more functional. That's a matter of opinion as well. But seeing as though I use both, my experience is that the Surface Duo is more functional, and the Fold is not a business device like people try to say. The Surface Duo is a business device. It can be because it's actually in the business section of Microsoft's website. It always has been. But as far as it being overpriced, I don't think so. Now, one thing I will say right out the rip is that if you are interested in the Surface Duo 2, but you feel like you just don't want to drop that bread, now is your chance to grab a Surface Duo. I've been saying it for a long time. Grab the current Surface Duo. Now that you see what more they're bringing, you know, you don't have to sit and complain now. You know exactly what's happening. You know exactly what you're getting. He said the Surface Duo. I don't know. Okay. The Google Duo. I don't know. I don't know what he's saying. But nonetheless, everybody is going to be impacted by what they see totally differently. It's going to be people responding completely different. Price is what everybody is. Some people might say it's overpriced. Personally, you're getting a lot more here than you're getting with the folding devices from Samsung, because this is a Microsoft device. So when you consider that a dislike that I have, some people are saying that the bezels are too large. I don't think so, because I have the current bezels. I have the current version here, and I don't think these bezels are that big, but people seem to think these are huge. I don't think so. They shrunk them down a little bit, and so now what is it? 5.8 inch screens now instead of
5.8 inch screen.
Yeah. So one thing I dislike about the Surface Duo 2 immediately is when those leaks came out, it had these ginormous cameras on the back, and I said, this cannot be it. Well, it is it, and I don't like them. I think they played into the media with that. I think they fed the media, the tech media, with that junk. They shouldn't have put those big old lumps on the back of the thing like that, man.
I don't mind them. They look better than what the leaks made them look like. I'll say that. I did look at them and I was like, you could tell those were prototypes. The cameras the design of the cameras do look better. Like, I wish that they would have made it probably, if they could have cut that camera bump in half.
Yes.
I would have been good with that. But I'm like, it's going to be, I can accept the camera upgrade because it's going to be my only device, my main device.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, with this, like, I carry 2 of these bad boys on the daily. I'm using one right now to stream.
Yeah, he's streaming from the Duo, by the way. He's streaming
from the Duo. I carry two all the time, and people are like, "Why you have two?" Like, I don't do business stuff, but Jay, you know, when I got this Duo in this hand doing Twitter and Telegram, and on here I got YouTube and maybe shopping at the bottom.
Yeah.
I use all four screens.
I don't feel like obviously the cameras, they will for sure probably be impressive. Now the footage that comes with it will be impressive, obviously, but as far as the big camera bump, I'm not feeling it. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think I'm ever going to change my mind about that until I get it in hand. Maybe, I'm not sure. But
I honestly think they could have got away with just one camera.
Yes, or do it two small ones, like, because look at the Fold. You can do two small ones like this. Yeah. They could have done two small ones like that. They could have.
Yeah, they didn't have to put a whole bump. They could have just remember how what was it? For example, the iPhone 12 has the two cameras, has that little protrusion. Yeah. They would probably had to make the device a little bit thicker though. That's the only thing.
I'm not. But, I mean, people are saying, like, some people say, "Oh, the dual bezels is huge." I don't think they're big. The fact that they shrink them down a little bit, they're doing exactly what every other OEM has done. But I knew that they were critiqued hard on this because everybody slammed the phone because of the software. That is really what people should be focusing on, the software.
See, I don't see the bezels as being big because when you use the device, like I say this with any device, it doesn't have to be the dual phone bezels. When you're looking at the device, you're not actually looking at the bezels. When you're watching a movie, are you staring at the bezels?
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody actually keeps their eye on the bezel. You're actually looking at the screen. Yes, if you're looking at the device over, you're going to see the bezels. But on the Duo, the bezels come in handy because you got to have something to hold it with. Like, it's the perfect size right here for my thumbs.
They're even smaller now. They're smaller now because you get bigger screens. You get two 5.8 screens. I agree with Grant on this one. I agree with Grant on this one. I agree that having to keep it open to take the photos, I don't think I'm really feeling that either. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have to position yourself to pretty much do it like this. And they were taking photos like this. I don't think I want to take photos like this. I feel like it's gonna be like this.
I feel like you have to have it like this. There you go. Like that shape right there. Yeah. You're just like
Yeah. And also BW1, I think he got a good point too. They kind of marketed more on the phone side, but it's in their business section. This can be used as a business device because it's in Microsoft's business section. But I think what Microsoft is doing, one failure that they're doing, in my opinion, or one thing that they're failing at, is the way they're marketing this phone or device, because they're making it look like they're trying to cater to the tech community. That's what I think they're doing by adding those ginormous cameras and packing it in with specs. I figured they would keep the price the same, but I didn't know about the 512 gig version. And the 512 gig version is gone. But I think the marketing is going to play a part in this. But more importantly, the software is what everybody is going to be waiting to critique. Now, like I said before, I'm not watching any of these influencers' videos. I can wait to get my own. I'm totally fine with waiting because they send out the wrong message most of the time because they're not going to use it as their regular device. They're not going to keep it, use it. They're going to go back to whatever device they're just, I told you, those are just overviews. That's all it is overviews that I see from them. I don't see anything else.
See, I watched one video. It was just the spec rundown, but because Microsoft was very vague on the specs this time around. It's like they were like, "Here's the Surface Duo." They
showed the 888. They showed the stuff in that.
Yeah, they showed that, but like a lot of people, like they didn't show that there was going to be 512 gigs.
No.
They didn't show that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they didn't show. Like, I was like, okay. They was like, let's get the Duo over with. It's been leaked so much. Let's get that over with. Let's go to the big boy over here. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I'm like, okay, what? Like, I was surprised by how it looked, but I already knew most of the features. Like, I already knew about that curved display. Yeah. Because our boy Craig over there. He blew that one up for me. So,
this has got to be. You should be thinking about Samsung's Edge.
Look at that. That's like, beautiful, come on, man. You cannot say that's not. It's not innovative because it's not the first time it's been done. But that looks good, man. It looks
fantastic. Your battery, your
notifications, and that right there, that answered the problem about notifications. because that's the only I had. Like when I'm at work, riding on the machine or whatever, that vibration, I don't always feel it. Or if I put it up on my machine and I'm driving, and it vibrates, sometimes I don't hear it. So to be able to see that, flashing light or whatever, like, yo, you got a notification. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they didn't put like a screen on the outside, because that would just killed it for me.
Let me get BW1 a link real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna shoot you the link, B. You know what I'm saying? You just hop on when you can. But one thing I want to talk about on the Surface Duo here, let me go back to it here, was this 5G now. Now that it's 5G, a lot of people complained about it being 4G. They're like, it's only a 4G device. But my speeds are ridiculous.
Like,
my speeds are ridiculous. They're the same. I'm getting like 300, 400, 500. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, when I go to this city, because I live in a small town, so right. I get regular 4G LTE. Like, I be getting 50, 60 the most. Then when I head to the city, that's where it hits the higher speeds or whatever. But yeah. I'm like, 5G is not a must for me because where I live. So that wasn't like a big deal for me. I'm just like, okay, 5G. When I leave this little town that I'm in, I'm gonna have 5G. But it's not like 5G. Here we go. Go and buy it because it got 5G.
5G is important. I think for a lot of people where it's available. But there's a lot of changes to this device, and so really, when I'm trying, it's hard to navigate the tech space, because I think there's a lot of fakers out there who say that they're tech enthusiasts, but because it's not catering to them personally, they rag on anything. That has happened so many times with devices. How can you take these people serious?
And that's why I don't listen to a lot of, like, when I watch videos, like, I'll be watching it, I'll get maybe 2 minutes in, and then I'm just like, I click off, because I'm just like, okay, at this point, this person is just either doing the video for views, or they before they even queued up the camera, they're already gonna bash it.
Right.
So I'm like, I already knew what the comments are gonna be like when the Duo came out. I was like, I don't care what people saying, I'm getting it. I've been holding off. I passed over on the Fold 3.
I didn't pass on the Fold 3, but I just put out my latest video on why I don't even need the Fold 3.
Yeah,
I premiered it right after my doctor's appointment. But I think people are so emotionally driven. They don't know. It's hard to say this without offending people, but if you soft like that, it is what it is. Some of these people that think they're tech enthusiasts are not. They're just fans. They're just sitting. They never purchase. They never really get behind the products and really give it a try. They never do any of that. And they live vicariously through influencers. That's what I see a lot of. Even in that latest video I just put out, it's some people that went right over their head. People click on the title, they see, you know how it goes, Night Tech. They click, they read the title and start commenting before they even watch any of it. And that's solely what's happening with this video too. That it's going to happen with everything that you come out, unless you're the influencer who people want to follow. They think that they give the right answers, but the true reviews and stuff like that come later on. They don't exist right now. They all of that stuff on the internet that you see with the Surface Duo is just an overview. That's all it is. What's up, Keith?
The whole thing when it comes to YouTube and these reviewers, and these, real reviews and stuff like that, is at the end of the day, you actually have to sit there and think about the device and who the devices are catered to. Yeah. Like, that's why people get so caught up in specs. And I'm like, the average regular consumer is not walking into any store going, excuse me, that device right there, does that have the latest Snapdragon 888?
It's not happening. Yep, it's not happening.
Does it have 12? No, they're like, first thing they go do, they're going to look through the phones. Oh, that phone looks good.
Yep.
And then they're going to go, that's a nice phone. How's the cameras? And then once they look at the cameras, scroll, they come like, okay, that's the phone I want. They're not, only the techies look at all, the processor, how much RAM these phones use, all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm like, for example, the Surface Duo, these big YouTubers and influencers, whatever you want to call them, they're not actually using these devices.
Nope.
Like they're not using. They're either using. They got a Pixel in an iPhone or
iPhone, bro.
a Fold 3 in the iPhone, and at the end of the day, they review the Duo, and it's like, okay, it's trash compared to this device because it doesn't have this, and that. Instead of just reviewing the device for what it is. Like, if you're a techie and you want all the latest, greatest, then you already know that the Duo is not, unless you're doing real multitasking, the Duo is not in for you. And I don't just mean business. I'm just talking about any type of multitasking. There might be somebody who buys a Duo because they do a lot of promotions, or, they do stuff on social media where they need two separate screens, full size screens.
Yep. I don't know. I think it definitely comes down to personal preference, but that's the obvious. People who say, "Oh, it's personal preference," you don't know what you're talking about. Well, okay, so you're just going to deny me and my personal preference because I don't agree with you. Come on, man. I mean, it's navigating the YouTube space when it comes to tech has become so difficult to trust what you see, because a lot of people are still trying to be entertained and get their egos fed by stuff. So the Surface Duo, people are already, there are videos out there saying the Surface Duo is going to fail. They hadn't even done the announcement yet. Like, how could you say it's going to fail and it's not even out yet?
Jay, let me tell you. Yesterday, I made the mistake of going on YouTube and typing in Surface Duo, regular Surface Duo videos, because I like to watch videos, see what people think of the Duo or whatever.
Right.
So I'm sitting there. I pull up this guy. I don't remember his name. I'm watching this video. He's like, "Oh, I just bought the Surface Duo. I paid the fire sale price. I'm loving the device. The whole video positive." I'm like, okay, he's really enjoying his device.
Right.
4 days ago, he posted that video. Yesterday, I come across another video. Why the Surface Duo 2 is gonna fail? And I'm like,
that doesn't make any sense.
I'm like, this is the same guy. I click on it, and I'm just like, I'm listening to him, and the whole time, you can tell he's trying to sound like really like techie about the whole situation. He's like, he's like, yeah, it's gonna fail because the Duo is still on Android 10. And I'm like, okay, so the Surface Duo 2 is gonna fail because the Surface Duo 1 is on Android 10 still?
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that make sense? I'm like, okay, if they put Android 11, which they did, on the Surface Duo 2, we don't know if we're ever going to get Android 11 on here. I really don't care if they do. I think my device works fine.
I think a lot. Hey, welcome BW1 to the stream, everybody. He's coming in.
What up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good, son.
Okay, cool. I'm in the middle of like a couple of things talking. I didn't even realize I was.
No. Yeah, no. I put you in. I thought you was ready to come in. But the issue I have with what we see when it comes to new devices dropping is so many. It's such petty stuff, and there's so many cheerleaders. I just skip over them, but they tend to flood the internet because they want to be seen. And again, a lot of these people who are complaining about the Surface Duo, they're probably using a $99 Android phone from Walmart. I'm not trying to be funny. They're not even anywhere close to spending, because I could see it in the comment section. They're like, I'm not buying a phone over $400. But when questioned on, well, why are you here? Like, if you know you're not interested, what's the purpose in giving all these scenarios on it, or what you feel like it shouldn't have if you don't buy these higher tier devices? So again, when you try to navigate the space of YouTube, eventually you just have to look over a lot of this stuff and just get back to grinding toward and put out, if you're a creator, put out your content and try to find those creators who don't agree with you, but will tell you directly, this is what this is. This is how this is what I think about this in a way that's realistic. Because honestly, folks, you all know that just because some of us are creators, that doesn't mean that we don't have the access to some of these things if we don't get them first. But I just feel like when it comes to this device right here, people are going to go overboard saying what it doesn't have. This should have done this, it should have done that, when you didn't even buy the first version to experience it. And if you did buy the first version, you didn't keep it. Did you even keep it? Do you even like it? I don't get it. BW1, chime in, man.
Oh, all right. There's a whole lot.
I know, right?
A whole lot to go over with this, but I guess starting off with the device itself. As soon as they announced it and I saw the camera up on, I went, "Oh no, they listened to the tech community."
Same thing I said.
They pushing this as a phone, and the problem with that is that we've already decided what a phone and how a phone, for the most part, is going to work for the majority of the people out there. We have decided slab style phone. This is the way we like things, and if you want something smaller, you have something smaller. But this entire, slab style is what we decided is the best way to use a phone. So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm going, no, you guys have got something different here. This is a different way to compute. This is a different tablet. This is a different idea. And you should be pushing this forward as a device that's a tablet hybrid or whatever you want to call it that happens to do phone calls, that happens to be able to take a couple messages here and there. But that's not its main focus. Its main focus isn't to be a phone. It's to be a internet device or a PDA. Shout out to who's old enough to remember what a PDA is, but
right.
the idea of going back to what originally smartphones kind of were back in that time when they were that sort of a data device, right? And taking, what we know as tablets are mostly entertainment driven and shifting that to more productivity, which is something the Surface has done with the Surface Pro line, and taking that in this new form factor and trying to push it there. But, you're adding, the cameras, the Snapdragon 888, and everything that they did was basically focusing on imaging and phone features and things like that and gaming. And I'm like, this is not what this device is supposed to be.
Nope.
And beyond, and even to add to that, my biggest beef with this thing when I first got it was really that it is running a forked version of Android. I don't care what Microsoft says to it. They're doing what everybody else does and fork their version of Android onto it. Now, have they done a good job of skinning it? Yes, they've had compared to a lot of other places, but I would expect that from literally a software development company. Like that's what they're going to be very, very good at doing that. The problem is, it's not their software. It's not going to prioritize their services as much as they may want to try to prioritize their services first. And this was a good idea in 2018. But now in 2020, when you're pushing ARM for Windows a whole lot more, especially when you got the Surface Pro X, you got Windows 11 and ARM and all those things, those original Snapdragon QC. I might be getting the model number wrong, but those original Snapdragon laptops that came out that were running Windows on ARM, and you're really pushing towards that. It doesn't make sense to continue to try and push and market a phone. You failed at this thing. You failed several times at this thing, Microsoft, going back to the Kin 1 and Kin.
Oh, man, I remember that.
Man. Failed at this several times with this. But if you can push to me a different device that runs Windows 11 and has all that software and learns to say, okay, you're on this particular folding style device. Let me cater the operating system and interface to work within that particular thing. Give you all the support for the same ARM software that's going to work, which developers are going to push and develop for now because everyone's pushing this, especially on Mac with the M1. You got Microsoft SQ1, whatever processor, blah, 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 you want to call it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a push more towards ARM-based operating systems.
But why do you think that they... Okay, so they definitely, because I'm shocked at the way they did the event. I know they just wanted to get it out there, but there's way more about this device they could have touched on. But I think they just tried to present it to cater to the tech community, to trash them for the cameras and all this other stuff.
Oh, I fully believe this was supposed to be visually what the Duo was supposed to be.
I mean,
I don't think they were supposed to put that. I don't think they're supposed to put that last one out outside of it being some type of really expensive tech demo thing that I don't think was supposed to be released as soon as it was. Literally sitting in the same shell.
So the original Duo, right? It wasn't supposed to be what it is. It was supposed to run Windows originally. The device was supposed to run Windows. They couldn't get it to run. They scrapped the whole, what was it called? They believe it was called the Andromeda project. They scrapped the whole Andromeda project. So from what I'm hearing, I don't know if it's totally true, they had already made all these Duo devices. And once they scrapped, the whole Andromeda project, only thing they had, they could do was go to Google. They made a deal with Google in order to throw Android on here to basically just save the device. They didn't want to, not bring out the device.
Exactly why the news is not out yet.
So that's why it is the way it is. But I think that, they did listen to the tech community by throwing on, these cameras and, the highest processor. But I felt like they also were thinking about, because remember when the Duo dropped, we were in the whole pandemic thing. So, they were aiming towards, everybody's at home. You got your one camera for your Google Meets and, your Zoom Skype calls and all that other stuff. But now that everybody's, out and about, I feel like they just happen to be like, oh, the tech community, blah, blah, blah. People are going to be out and about now. Let's throw a camera on the back. Which, like I just said earlier, they could do one camera on the back. They could have just threw one.
Or just break down these specs, fellas. Break down these specs, because I think Microsoft did a poor job of actually talking about it, because look at how good this is. Two 5.8s, now you get 8.3. They grazed over this stuff. You got 1344 by 1892, 401 pixels now, HDR. You got the wide color joint there. You got 800 nits, 90 hertz. You got Victus glass. Victus, you got a bigger battery. The battery on the other one was 3570 or something like that. This is basically a 4500 milliamp hour battery, and it goes on and on and on. Why would they not go deep on this one opportunity to really get the device praised like it should get and get the attention?
Because they still have to talk to average consumer who's not going to listen to any of that.
Exactly.
There's going to be like, they're going to have a whole series of like Surface Duo, like they did last year. Like if you go to the Microsoft page, you see all these videos on the Surface, separate videos on the Surface Duo on different specs and what it can do and stuff. They're going to do that all the way up until this thing launches.
I just don't understand why they grazed over this. It's got 8 gigs of RAM now. It's got a 512 gig model now. It's like they just skated over it
because they were too worried about look at it. Surface Laptop Studio, man.
Well, we all know their laptop is slaughtered.
They were too worried about that.
Well, but the thing is that I think they're more worried about talking about the Surface Pro, which makes sense. That is their moneymaker. That is that they should spend more time talking about that. That's going to push that. That's
the same price as the Duo,
right? Right.
And they kind of glossed over the Surface Pro X a little bit, but I think because I don't think much changed from a spec department other than just bringing it up to to current connections. But this Surface Studio, I'm actually interested in, and I might pick this up myself just because I need a laptop anyways. So.
See, I don't need a laptop, but this is ridiculously nice. I got I got 2 new laptops over there, and I might just upgrade them to Windows 11 on the 5th of October or whatever and call it a day. But this is beautiful right here. 120 hertz, man. This is crazy.
And it's actually one of the few times they make you get a actually powerful creator focused laptop that actually is focused on creators, because most of the time their creator laptops are very much like they're one step above their Beeline machines that can edit a couple photos and has no focus on video.
I pretty much already have this laptop specs in a different form. I got 16 gigs of RAM. I got the I got the 11th gen right here, the i7. I got that already in my laptop. I actually have 144 hertz display.
There's so much stuff that they didn't speak on this device. Like, did you hear? They didn't even say that. One of the main complaints was that one speaker. It now has stereo audio, but they didn't say anything.
Because it's just when you're doing those presentations, it is really geared towards. They have 2 choices when they do that. They're either going to be very much like what OnePlus does and gear everything towards talking to the tech community, which means you're going to completely abandon the common consumers.
Yeah, because they rely on YouTubers now, BW. They rely on YouTubers to push all their products. It's cheaper to give a device to a YouTuber and pay them $2,000 or $5,000 than to do a commercial. You can spread 200 of these devices out there and give all these people $1,000. That's better marketing than doing one commercial that'll cost you minimum $100,000. So let's get some of these questions, man. So B-Dub, hit that one first. Now Night, you can go, and then I'll go. The question is from Joseph. Says, what do you think in the next 5 to 10 years smartphones will be like as far as operating and what operating systems look like?
In the next 5 years?
5 to 10 years.
The same stuff we got now.
Yeah.
That ain't going to change much.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, we might see one new operating system at the best, but is the form factor going to be the same? Yeah. Like, until there is a reason to not use a slab style phone in a way, it's not going to change. And I don't think it really needs to. It's like, look, let's put it this way. Did the standard, like, what did regular telephones go from? They went from corded, they went from the ring dial to being able to type on a touch tone pad, to cordless. And none of that has changed for that in the last 30 years since cordless. That's the most that that has changed, other than an underlying technology to go through VoIP, right? But the actual hardware itself has never changed so much.
No,
and I think smartphones are kind of at that space right now.
Yeah.
I think in the next 5-10 years, we're going to try to figure out what's that middle device, because we've kind of figured out the middle device at one point was tablets. But the problem is, it all that tablets did was replace what netbooks were doing.
Yeah. You remember netbooks were, I mean, for their time, they were
there.
Yeah.
But the problem is that now we're trying to figure out, okay, what's this middle sort of computing device that I don't have to do everything on my smartphone, gives me a little bit of a bigger screen, or something that I can use maybe like a middle device for work or business. Like the Surface Duo was a real good idea from the aspect of like, just want it to be a work phone. It's a pretty expensive work phone, but it could just be a work phone while you have your other phone for other things. I think we're going to see a lot more niching down of products. Like there's just going to be things specifically that cater to one audience versus another. I think the idea of finding one thing that's just going to blow up and, you're going to get 60-70% of the buying community to buy it. I don't think we're at that space anymore. I think we're at the space of like, all right, what foldable or dual screen thing we're going to figure out that's going to work, and what audience is going to use that.
Night Tech, you think it's going to change at all in the next 5 to 10 years?
No, not at all. Man, I don't think it's going to change at all. Of course, there'll be, more little innovations and stuff that add to the phone. It'll still be a slab. I highly doubt there'll be another operating system, because between Google and Apple, is just too big. Like, just to come in they've tried multiple times and failed. So it's just, I'm like,
I think this style right here is going to catch on faster. Like the Z Flip 3 style is going to catch on way faster than this style right here. Even though this is extremely functional for a lot of people, I think consumers are going to migrate to this very fast once they start to see the options.
I actually don't think this is going to last for too many years. I feel like if they do continue to do a Duo, it's going to eventually end up in one folding screen. It's gonna end up. I already know.
You think it's gonna switch over to this style?
Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna end up with a folding screen. And honestly, I wouldn't actually mind a folding screen. Like if it had as long as they keep the software the same. So don't, like, if I want to split it down the middle, I can still split it down the middle. Have whatever on this side of the screen full and whatever on this side of the screen full.
Right.
I don't mind if it's one screen as long as I get the same amount of screen real estate.
So there's questions there's a few things in there in the comments section. I see you guys. It's a lot of questions. Post your questions down below and we'll get to them. But I wanted to touch on the trade-in value of your current Surface Duo.
Woo,
this is what Night Tech brought to my attention. He brought this to my attention. I had no idea. I wasn't even thinking about this at all. I didn't think they would offer anything. But turns out, I'll put this up real quick here, and I'll share the screen. And you can actually be a little surprised at what they're offering for the trade-in value here for this device. I was actually pretty surprised. Best Buy. I don't know if Microsoft has a trade-in program, but I'm just going to go through here and show you Best Buy's trade-in. So by default, I just chose the 128. It's not cracked at all. Nothing's going on with it. It's in great. I don't know why they don't have great there. And everything is clear. They're actually giving you $400. But the reason they're giving $400 more than likely is because they're still selling it for a higher price. So they don't know the difference. Microsoft was still selling it for that higher price. So Best Buy is offering $400 for this, and if you pay $400, this might be a quick out for you. So Gigi says that Microsoft is doing trade-ins too. Oh, they're giving. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Oh, nice.
I tried to find it, and I can't even find it.
Let me go straight to the Microsoft trade-in store.
Is that instant trade-in or like?
They know they're gonna get flooded. So I'm gonna pull it up here in a second. Right now, I'm loading it up right now, and I'm gonna pull it up. It's asking me for my email address. You don't need my email address. So for personal, let's get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go through the process real quick because their trade-in program is a little different here. Okay, so let me go ahead and load up Microsoft's trade-in real quick just to show you. So Best Buy is offering $400, which is going on. What's up, Tech Loving Mama? What's good? TLM is here, so I'm gonna go ahead and load up.
Hey, either way, it's a come up for me because I paid basically nothing for the both of mine.
So everything's work there. I've never done their theirs before. So I'm just doing it now. So $475. Wow. So let's change this to the let's go back and choose a different model. Let's choose the 256 gig and see if they're gonna switch it up at all. I might do this right here. I said I wouldn't give up my Surface Duo, but I can buy another Surface Duo for $400. I'll be able to get them dirt cheap now. So this is actually pretty sweet right here, man. That they're giving $475. That's an even better deal than that is
directly on Microsoft.
That's on Microsoft. Microsoft is giving $475 and Best Buy is giving $400. Wow. And if only I could have gotten my 512 gig, man.
Let's see. Do you have to do the trade-in before you place your order?
I don't know. I've never done a trade-in with them.
Because I'm about to say, I placed my order already. And another thing is, where this might kind of mess me up, though, is can I trade in two? If I can't trade in two, it makes no sense for me to do it through Microsoft.
I wouldn't trade in. I don't think you can do two. More than
likely. See, I could do two.
Usually with the trade-ins, you have to you wait till you get it shipped to you, and then they ship you a box to send back, all that stuff.
Okay, so it's not instant. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's not instant. Like with mostly any of these trade-ins, you can still decide later you don't want to do it.
What Best Buy is what Night Tech is talking about. He can walk right into Best Buy and sell them his on the spot, and they'll take it right away and give you a gift card right away. Then you go home and place your order and use those gift cards.
Oh no, you only gotta do that. You can what's the name? It says you can bring your device in store. They give you the gift card and you can purchase it right there.
I don't like to purchase in store. They always seem to mess up my points. I'm an elite member, bro. So they always seem to not give me my points and stuff, man. So I rather just do it myself.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Best Buy is offering less, but it's quicker and it's up front. You don't have to come out of pocket.
As a former Best Buy employee, please go through Microsoft.
I don't know. Microsoft ain't gonna let me trade in two of these, man. I need to trade in both.
How does Microsoft do it? What do they do? I go through the process right here.
If they're anything like Samsung, they will probably. If they're anything like Samsung, you'll get everything mailed to you first, and then you send the device back. That's how Samsung tends to do it.
Okay, yeah, because I've done trade-ins with Samsung before. You just have to pay the full price up front with Microsoft?
No, I think I'm not sure with Microsoft. I know with Samsung, they just charge you what
Samsung doesn't charge
be, and then they just
I'm not getting that
difference or something. They just charge you whatever the difference is.
Right. That's a lot. That's $475. That's tempting. I know I said I wouldn't get this up, but
hold on. I'm not getting that.
$100 for this.
You hear me? I'm not getting that price. Let me see. Hold on.
I'm right on the website. There's no way. What do you mean?
Working, unlocked.
Let's change models here. Let's change models. Let's pick AT&T or something.
Because actually, what device you're trading up for?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I do unlocked trading, now it says $475. Before it said $425.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
AT&T. I just chose a different carrier, and it's
now unlocked for 128 gig. It says $475. Let's see,
Yeah, yeah, that's what it
256
was before. That's weird.
unlocked, Charger, yes, Duo 2.
Yeah, all of them say
Okay,
475.
yeah. I don't know why I said 425 before.
Yeah.
Maybe if let me see.
I don't know. I think that's a fantastic deal, man. God, dog, man. I shoot. I had no intentions on trading it in, but you know, I really wanted the 512 gig model, and it sold out so fast. I couldn't even.
I bet you it'll come back in stock again, though. Like probably quicker than we think.
Because all those people, they did that, man. They did that just to put it up for resale. That's what people do. They buy them, they go in and buy them all up, so then they can jump
That's
right back
another
in there.
thing
Or you
also.
can just wait for it to like when everybody returns it after the review.
I'll be able to get it. I'll be able to get a nice recertified one.
I'm about to say, Best Buy. That's another thing. You can't get the 512.
No, they're only selling the 256 gig.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go through Best Buy because they're gonna take both of these duos. I'm gonna get $800 on my Duo too.
Yeah, I really don't want to get rid of my Duo. I like this.
See, my whole thing is I can definitely get rid of both of these, and if I want to get the Duo 1 again, the regular Duo, you could be able to buy them probably secondhand for like $300.
But you know what though? That might not be entirely true. Sometimes the device goes away and a new one comes out, and then the other one picks up value.
I don't know, man. Them things are people are selling these things for $300, $250.
Yeah. They're just selling them based on what they're getting them for and what the market says that they're worth. But if this device gets Android 11, we'll see a shift in the conversation. Because not everybody wants to kick out.
The price might drop some more on those AT&T models.
Not everybody wants to kick out all that cash. So some people are going to be gunning to get this version just to have the experience. Because honestly, man, those camera bumps on the new one, I don't like them. I never liked them as soon as they announced it. I think it looks silly. And I think they're trying to cater to the tech community by putting those jumbo cameras on there. They could have done two small cameras. They could have done two small cameras like they have on the front of this device right here. Totally could have done it. They chose not to.
Speaking of ordering, you might want to order your bumper cases.
They can't be too much different than the one I already got, so I got brand new ones.
Oh, they took away. It's only the border now. They took away that back piece.
It's only
the border. It's only the frame. It's only the frame. Yeah, so I was like, okay. So they didn't really show the device like that, right? Yeah. So the difference is obviously the camera on the back. The front camera got upgraded to 12 megapixels.
They didn't even talk about it.
SIM card slot got moved from the side to the bottom. The what is it? The USB port, the USB Type-C got moved to the other side of the screen. So now the SIM card slot is on the right side at the bottom. I'm trying to think what else. The new bumper case only does the frame of the device. There's no longer separate fingerprint scanner power button. It's just now one button. It's the power button.
Which makes sense.
Fingerprint scanner. So that's out of there. Let me see what else they said. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They didn't even show the device like that. It was just like, here it is.
I think it's just sad that sometimes it just comes down to marketing. Hey, I want a quick shout out to Keith. Just joined up as a member. I appreciate you. I saw you earlier, man, but we was flowing along. I appreciate the love, E. But man, I really want to hold on to my Duo because it's not so much about the money. It's just that I would love to compare these, but I already know what it's. I mean, even as you sit on this stream right now, you already know what the comparison is going to be like, right? I'm going to say the cameras are better. I'm going to say the software is improved and the hardware feels the same. What else? What else is going to be different?
Nothing. Besides, everything you said, the screens will be better. The screens are better.
Well, screens are a little bit bigger, and they're probably going to be a little bit better because they're 90 hertz. What else can I genuinely say when comparing these?
I don't know. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know. You checking out over there, BW1? You over there buying your
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
he in the checkout screen.
it's now, Gorilla Glass Victus,
Yeah.
bigger battery, like you said, cameras,
I think the
better
majority of the
front-facing
focus is going to be
cameras.
on the cameras, to be honest with you. That's what the majority of the tech reviews are going to be on.
Yeah.
So
But
which is
remember, everybody
what
slammed them for the software, and now that they cater to the tech
That's
community
what
with
I'm
these
saying.
cameras.
I don't see anything about NFC.
It has NFC. It has
no, it
NFC.
has NFC now. They
Yeah.
add
Okay.
NFC.
It has
They
it.
did. It has
Like
it.
that's what I'm talking about. They didn't say nothing about NFC. Like they didn't care
No, they
about
mentioned it. They did mention it. They mentioned. I think they mentioned NFC and stuff
Let's
in
see.
there. They coasted over it real quickly.
Yeah,
But
they
they did
skated
mention
over.
NFC.
So I like how they turned the Surface Pen 2 into the magnetic charging thing because people accidentally got the original Surface Slim Pen to stick to their Surface. I think they need to cut everybody a check for that one.
They sure do.
And
This
shout
is-
out to them. And shout out to Microsoft doing the same thing that Samsung did, and basically taking features like the S Pen and then finding a way to make people pay for it, even though you already got it.
Hello.
Let's see.
Massively annoying.
They
I get it. They got to sell more accessories. It's all about what's the retail
Your
time
charging
for it, what your
supply got
attachment rate
faster.
is.
And
You
now
think-
it's a 23-watt fast power brick.
So you saw what happened with the first Surface Duo. Do you think there will be? I look at the Surface Duo 2 and I see a major upgrade. Like this is a huge upgrade compared to. I mean, internally and physically, they changed the device a lot. So now, and unfortunately, I'm not going to look at these influencers' videos because I don't really care what they have to say about certain things because I know there's a bias involved. Because Apple can do no wrong and Samsung can do no wrong. They just make flawless devices, and everybody else, you're on the catch up. That's pretty much what influencers kind of throw out there from what I see. So I don't really take them that serious at all.
They'll only say that Samsung is wrong when it's compared to an Apple product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and and you know how long I've been in the
Apple
game. I know how this works.
But I mean, do you think there's going to be a huge shift now that they've babied and catered to these little influencers out there? Oh, the cameras, and the software. You think there will be a huge shift in what they say about it right now?
I already tell you right now. Because nobody has it, except for the influencers that do have it. But the only thing that I can see coming back is if Microsoft didn't nail the software. If they somehow messed up the software from if they went backwards from where it's at right now, then I can see that being the problem. Because honestly, even with the original Surface Duo's original shortcomings, the main complaint was not the hardware of the device. It was the software. Everybody returned their Surface Duo.
Classically prevented everyone from looking at.
Yeah.
The software, everybody would buy it. They would buy it. The software was buggy, and they returned it.
Yeah. Again, I mean, there's several different types of people that are online when it comes to creation. And you've got those people who are just straight up followers. They don't think they're followers, but they really that's all they are is followers.
Juan's up in here?
Huh?
It says Juan up in here?
Yeah, Juan's in there. And then you got these people out here who actually try to create, but get crapped all over for telling the truth. And then you got the influencers that is just saying what
Juan Carlos Bagnell.
they want people to say. What'd you say?
They got Mr. Juan Carlos Bagnell out in the building.
Yeah, he's down in the chat. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a matter of when this device drops, is it even worth comparing it to the current Surface Duo? Because I'm serious. I already know just looking at. Only thing that I don't know is the quality of the screens, the quality of the battery, the quality of the cameras. Those types of things. The overall experience. I don't know that yet, but just looking at the hardware, we see what's different. And I think we know that them adding 2 gigs of RAM is what this device truly needed. It was in dire need of 2 gigs of RAM. It really needs another 4 gigs of RAM for those prices. The Surface Duo should have 12 gigs of RAM. Easy. It should not have 8. It should have 12. And so to the person initially, I think his name was Mario, who said it wasn't worth it or it's overpriced. That part of his argument, I know he didn't focus on that, but that is where he is technically, I think, he's on the right path, because this device costs $1,800, $1,500, or $1,600. Why doesn't it have 12 gigs of RAM? It's a business style device. It should have 12 gigs of RAM. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's got a Snapdragon 888 in it now. There's no reason that they could not have done 12 gigs of RAM. Heck, 16 gigs of RAM.
I don't think Microsoft is worried about the whole RAM thing when it comes.
They should be, though. They should.
I don't know, man. I think it's still in the. Know what it is? I don't think they're in the mind state of thinking about the Android operating system. They're thinking. I feel like in their mind they're thinking more Windows. Like, you can go buy a laptop right now with 4 gigabytes of RAM and use it.
That should be illegal.
It ain't gonna be the greatest, but it's usable. And I feel like that's the mindset they have. They're like, okay, 8 gigs of RAM, that's usable.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
any Windows PC sold with 4 gigabytes of RAM should be illegal, just like Steve Harvey in denim suits. That should just be illegal.
Steve Harvey need to sit down, period. Ugh.
There's a lot of people that buy 4 gigabyte laptops, man. I don't know why.
Are they buying it at Walmart with their denim suit?
If you have 4 gigabytes on a Chromebook, yeah, that'll work. But 8 gigs on the Surface Duo 2, to me, is a joke, because I got to give up $1,800. You should give me 12 gigs of RAM. I'm going to use the Duo and push it as hard as I can push it. I need 12 gigs of RAM. I deserve 12 gigs of RAM for $1,800. I don't think I'm asking for too much. I mean, okay, for the chat and for both of y'all, tell me how much RAM you think the Surface Duo 1 should have had, and what you think the current Duo should have.
What you said, 8 and 12.
It should have.
So you think the current one
on the first one
should have 8? The current one should have 8.
Would you say, B-Dub?
I think it should have started off with 6 and then gradually make their way to 8.
You mean with the different memory options?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you mean with the new one? Okay.
Yeah, there should have been maybe a 6 or an 8 or 8.
Yeah, when you got they could have stayed 8, right? And when they got to 512, it should have bumped up to at least 12. Like,
there's no reason why it doesn't have 12 gigs of RAM. There's no reason why.
Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much been given that that's where Android runs its best, is at 12 gigs of RAM, where you don't experience any slowdowns, especially if you're going to run Chrome on your device. It seems like 12 gigs tends to be the best position for it to sort of be in, especially for the price. That's just how the way Android sort of runs. But I think this device was built with the idea that the Andromeda thing was going to happen and Windows on ARM was going to happen. So they were thinking they didn't necessarily need that much, considering how they were going to optimize the system.
Yeah.
And I think some of that mindset is still there with this development until, I don't know. It's like that whole project got canceled, and I think they've been trying to piecemeal this entire thing together so it didn't die off.
Yeah, the short answer to this is it's not whether you use it or not. Is the answer for 512 gigs of RAM for me, or storage for me, is about convenience. I won't have to shift and move things around, because I will use it for creation. If I'm buying 512 gigs, it relates to creation. So for me, and there's a lot of regular consumers. My wife, she'll use 512 gigs in a minute, because cloud storage is kind of lame sometimes. You want to be able to get quick access to something. So that using 512, some people right now have 128 gigs and they've run out already. That's what it is. They need more because they're a central location. So 512 of storage. I want at least 256 now for who I am as a person, because I know what I'm storing on my device. But I think a lot of people would probably enjoy 512 at that price point. Yeah, I mean, because at $1,800, at $1,500, there's no reason why they can't do 512 gigs. There's no reason, because let's do a quick little just to make you think. Definitely not picking sides, but how much does the 1 terabyte iPhone cost? And that's just
isn't it like 18?
I think it's 6. Let me pull it up real quick.
I think it's $1,700.
Exactly. And so they have their $1,800 device with 512 gigs, but yeah, I mean, I just think that for some things, yeah, okay, I like it, but I'm not that excited about it. Let's see it for what it is. To me, the Surface Duo 2 still doesn't check every box that I would like, but the factor is they've made some serious changes. I just think they made the changes for all the wrong reasons. I think they tried to cater to a crowd, and they did it all wrong. They're still doing it wrong. So the 1 terabyte iPhone is $1,600. It's even less.
Is that the Pro or the Pro Max?
The Pro Max. Let me look at it. Let me pull it up.
I think the Pro Max.
When I checked, I could have sworn like after tax it was like 19 and change.
Yeah, it's expensive, but at the same time, let me go to it right now and hit pre-order. And here we go. Let me change this window out and put it up because this is the pricing for what Microsoft is asking.
1,600. Yeah.
They need to come with it. They need to come with it. So here we go right here.
Price, I think the price that it's at is contributed to the whole dual display thing. Because think about it, if you had 2 iPhone displays, how much is Apple going to charge you? That's upward probably $2,000.
Well, I think the problem here is that this is still being pitched as a phone.
Yeah,
and that's the problem with the pricing. It's still being priced like a phone and being pitched and delivered like it's a phone when it is not a phone. It's an internet device. Like remember how Steve Jobs tried to sell the iPhone originally as an internet device? Mm-hmm. That's what this is. It's a device that's going to do everything else. One of the least things you're probably going to do is make phone calls on it. You're probably going to do everything else.
I just think it's crazy in comparison, though. When you think about it, they're offering 512 gigs for $1,700, and there's a 1,600. I think Microsoft, even if you don't think they're pitching it as a phone, I think they're trying to cater to people who want a phone. Because everybody complained about the camera. The cameras are horrible, and they weren't looking at it, and that's why all these influencers who got it early last time trashed it.
When they showed that Snapdragon 888 5G showing up and the whole graphic, and the graphic at least 3 times in their presentation kept showing the cameras. Like at least 3 times they kept showing that.
Right.
This was very phone centric, even though they might not have directly been saying that, but they're focusing on the features that would normally what will be focused on if you are pushing a smartphone. Because they're talking to talking to the tech community to try to get.
I guess I don't know. I see what Juan is saying. I don't think they're physically saying we're trying to sell it to you as a phone, but their conversation has leaned away from it being a Surface by making the changes that they've made currently. Because honestly, if they really wanted to stand behind this being a Surface, they wouldn't have put that ginormous, ugly camera bump on the back. Just changing that. Dude,
I don't think that actually stops it from being the Surface, man.
I'm talking about the hardware.
So if you take away the camera, everything else. If you take away that camera, everything else would just be an upgrade to the current thing. So to say that just by adding a camera makes it more phone oriented doesn't really count, because if you think about it, if you say this is a productivity device, whatever, some people need a camera in their daily, if their only device, you cannot get away with just this one camera. I'm sorry.
You could, depending on who you are.
So like I said, my choice personally, I wanted to put 3 cameras. I would have went with either 1 or 2, like we discussed earlier, because some people do need a camera. Like when you're scanning, say if you're scanning documents and stuff. This camera on the front is wonky sometimes. So
listen, let me reply to you like this. Let me say it like this. This is where Microsoft should have pulled an Apple. They should have upgraded this camera and kept this hardware updated the internal. That would have done it for me, because they still could have done the inner display. They could have done the bezel. They could have still done all of that. But I think they took away from greatness by putting that ugly camera bump on the back. Ginormous. It's hideous, man. No matter how good the cameras are, it is ugly to me. I mean, I've said that since day one. I'm not going to change just because I'm excited about the phone. It's hideous to me.
But you got to cater to everybody.
Microsoft, like what Juan was saying, it might not be what their initial pitch was, but literally their messaging, when you go to their page, the first thing that says is more than a phone. And I'm like, all right, you're already putting people in the mindset of this from the beginning, even mentioning the word phone inside of it. You're putting people into the mindset of like, well, what's this comparable to? You know, you do it all with 2 screens, do it all with 5G camera. Like, I'm looking at the first
Well,
parts of
because you can't really, you got to say, okay, I get the whole more than a phone thing, because you can't really say more than a tablet. You can't say what, like it does phone, it text messages, it makes calls. So they're trying to say, yo, it's more than just a phone. Like, it's a Surface.
But
I get it.
when you say more than just a phone, you've already put it in that category.
Well, it is a phone.
To get to it, rather
When you're
than
buying this, you know it's a phone. You're not going to buy this and think it's a tablet unless they say, "Oh, it's a tablet." Like, it's.
There's just a better way to market their message.
They marketed phone
As
second.
a Surface.
They marketed it as a Surface, and the phone was just another option on it. But he's right, though. When you say it that way, you're acknowledging that you think it's phone first. But the fact of the matter is, I use mine with a Bluetooth, and I do a lot of phone calls, and then I did a lot of duo calls on here, which is just flawless. And by the way, folks, if you're just joining in, Nitek is streaming from a Surface Duo, and he's holding another one in his hand. So while he's saying the cameras are wonky, the cameras look fine to me. I've done plenty of video calls with these.
Video is cool on the Duo. I'm talking about when you get down, like, I've taken pictures, selfies, pictures of my wife and kids, and if you're not in the correct, lighting, or you're not holding it pretty still in your hand, you're not going to get the best photo. Like, right. If they, like you said, they could have just upgraded, like they did. It went up to 12 megapixels, whatever. Like, they could have just upgraded the front-facing camera, but I figured that probably would consist of them making the device thicker.
Yeah.
But which they didn't. It stayed the same thickness. So I'm like, except for that, the area with the camera bump in the back. But yeah. I'm like, it's only so much you could do. And like I said, you're trying to please everybody without, going. You can see they wanted to keep the Surface device the same.
Yeah.
Everybody was, the cameras. That's the main thing you kept on hearing. The cameras. Yep. So I feel like Microsoft was like, yo, if we don't give these people these cameras,
yeah,
we ain't gonna sell nothing. Yeah. Like, because honestly, how many people are just gonna upgrade just because, spend another $1,500-$1,600 just for, a new processor and 2 more gigs of RAM? People are going to think, they're going to be like, do I actually need that? Like, yeah. So they had to give them something.
So are you on board are y'all on board? Because there's a lot of conversation going on, but who's really on board to buy the Surface?
I already pre-ordered mine.
I'm gonna try to hold out for the 512 as long as I can, but yeah.
That's another thing also. You got to think about it. Okay, 512. You can go down to 256, save whatever amount of money. Plus, if you do a trade-in, and you already know, throw your little Type-C thumb drive in there, man. 256 gig. I got one of those upstairs. I'm not really.
Keep it on deck.
Yeah. I'm like, that's not a problem. So even if because like I said, Best Buy ain't got 512, and I got 2 Duos to trade in. So.
Well, I mean, you have the advantage though, because you have 2 to trade in. But let's just say that person does only have 1 to trade in. Do you trade in your Surface? Oh, let's just say you have the Surface Duo. Do you trade it in and get the Surface Duo 2 and take that $475 credit?
It really depends on where I bought the Surface and at what price I bought it at.
You pay $750 for it. Let's just put a middle ground, because that's what they sell it for right now, $750.
I'm not. I'm good.
I mean,
I'm keeping it.
It's difficult for me because at this point, I wouldn't even own the Surface Duo just because of what I think of what it should be isn't really what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the other problem is the real question is, give or take, odds on this having a price drop by Christmas. When will they, that's really the question here. You can buy this now, but in 3 to 4 months, does this price drop significantly enough?
Because look at Samsung, the Fold 3 already dropped like $700 already on swap, and it just came out less than a month ago. or no, about a month ago. Yeah, and it's
So
already
like,
dropped.
I would think if you're going to buy this now, I would probably, if you're in the market for it, wait until November. I bet you there'd be better
I
trade-in
think
deals.
I'll take that. I'll take that because
I, I,
Gigi always tells me, hey, you need to wait. Just wait a month, Jay. Just wait a month. You'll be able to get it.
That's been historically the thing on Android devices for a while now. It's been like, why buy it at launch when you can wait a little while, and
Yeah.
then at some point, you either get more in terms of extras with it, or you get a better trade-in deal, or you get $100, $200 off what the initial launch price was, and it hadn't even been out for 6 months.
If I
Yeah.
had AT&T, I'd go to AT&T. They probably give me it for free.
Yeah, they're probably letting you like they can let you get it for free on us or something like that and finance or whatever. But
That's sort of the things that I think with that. If you're looking to buy something like the Surface Duo and stuff like that, given that the first device is just a year old, so and it depends on when you
yeah,
bought it as well too, and what you
yep,
bought it at, the price you bought it at. I personally think Microsoft should be giving a bit more in terms of
yep,
what they're doing in terms of their trade in to
yep.
kind of build some uh, uh, brand loyalty to what that is.
Hmm.
They knew what they released wasn't ready. They knew that
Yeah.
there was a lot of things they had to work on with that, and there was still a subset of people that bought that and kept it and rode with that through there. So I'm thinking, if you bought that, you should be like, $600-$700 on a trade-in.
Hmm.
It should be really through Microsoft. That's where that should be. They like, especially if you want to get more people on the Surface Duo too, which is really the proper device that they should have put out.
Yeah.
And I think getting that brand loyalty right now would be more important than them trying to make money on a product that's going to take them 3 to 5 years to even do that.
So
So,
question.
I think
Question.
it's time.
They give it in. They give our current Surface. They give us Android 11. We don't get
They'll
12
deliver.
yet. They bump us up to at least 11. Now this device becomes a little bit more desirable because there's a different thing going on with RAM management and things like that. Now what do you do? Because I heard this was getting in November on the 17th or something like that.
Well, they're
I
going to
don't
have to
know.
deliver. They're going to have to deliver all of them with the same operating system at some point, because
Yeah.
if they're going to be delivering updates and pushing things to it, it's going to have to be similar enough in some ways that they're not developing one set of software for the Surface Duo and then developing another set
Yes.
the Surface Duo 2, and then when they probably eventually plan to put a third version of this out,
Yes.
probably a year from now, that's going to have some similar hardware as well too,
Yes.
so to keep that thing sort of going.
Do you think they're going to deviate from the current? Do you think they're going to take a step backwards and bring smaller camera bumps on the third iteration of it? 'Cause, I mean, based on what Samsung did. Remember what Samsung did? They had these ginormous bumps, and all of a sudden they toned it back a little bit.
Well, I think as the tech gets better, they'll be able to kind of shrink that down and put things. They might even keep the same camera hardware for a couple of years on this, which would be fine. And then they should be able to refine it to make it smaller and slimmer and be able to kind of fit better into the package. I think that's a thing that they can definitely do with that. It's definitely for people that are Duo fans. It's still in my mind. It's like they're literally making Windows 11 on ARM, and they're still bothering with this Android thing. It just bothers me. Like it doesn't make logical sense. It's like it's a classic thing with Microsoft where their own internal departments do not speak to each other on something. And the clear line should be here is, yes, we're new, we're experimental, wherever the case may be. Maybe we got to emulate a couple of Android apps, blah, blah, blah. But the thing should be a Windows 11 device. And I will stick to that. I would hope by the Surface Duo 3, there may be something like that comes out. Because here's the thing: we have not heard anything about the Surface Neo.
Oh my gosh, I was tweeting about that.
That has been.
I heard it got scrapped.
That is the new vaporware, like the original Microsoft
really would like
OneNote
to see that.
thing that was announced like 10 years prior to what we now know was a Duo. And on the Neo, it's like it's just like non-existent thing.
I heard it got scrapped.
I don't know why either.
Well, because I really think they have to make that thing run ARM. It has to run ARM. It has to run Windows 11 on ARM. It has to be their own software, their own ecosystem, and it has to support. You got to give that ability there, because to me, when people are buying a Windows device, they're thinking of Windows stuff. They want that
Yes.
Windows experience.
Yes.
And when you take something like the Surface Duo, it's running Android and doesn't even have a DeX interface. It's like it.
You can't even plug in HDMI Type C.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm excited because it exists. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very cool that this thing exists, and you're getting a lot of great information and feedback out of doing this. But I do believe at some point there's going to be some new iteration that they go away from on this whole thing.
You think so?
That is like whatever feedback they totally get.
I
They
think,
will
but
probably
are
market
they
a different version of that
listening
product.
to the feedback though? Like, I think there's this thing called selective listening. you pretty much hear what you want to hear, and I think based on what they did to the Surface Duo 2, some of that existed in their PR department, and the people who did the hardware, they selected what they wanted to see. If I were Microsoft, I would have been focusing on the software, because that is the reason everybody slammed it, myself included.
Yeah.
They should have led saying, "Listen, we heard
Why
you."
I didn't keep it?
Yeah. They should have said, "We heard you. Look at what we did to the software. You can now change your icon style. You can make rounded. I don't want square icons if I don't have to. I want some rounded icons. I mean, it's just an icon, but the point is they're square, and I want to have the option to change the icon pack myself. Something as simple as that can take it to another level. To me, they went about it by not focusing on what they should have been talking about, which was the software. People might have jabbed at the cameras, but the software is what killed it.
Well, the problem I think with that is that they're trying to focus this as a consumer business device, and because of that, there's a certain idea that none of that fun stuff needs to be on here. Although reality, considering the group that did end up getting this, they probably should have just done the LG and Samsung move, made their own UI, put a bunch of nonsensical themes and all sorts of stuff to customize it and do your own thing.
Yeah.
And dropped it on there, made it fun in that regards. And then I think that could be something right there for it.
Yeah.
And you know, that could be something pretty cool to add on to what I'm thinking about right now is if they do a major update to this, one of the cool things could have been is if they kind of give you those cool icon packs to make, or those themes and
something as simple as that,
and just add those things into it to
because on Windows you can change the way your device, you can change the way your pages look. Yeah, literally, you can go to Internet Explorer and change how it completely looks. You can scrap it and put your own design.
Yeah, to me, that would be something. Given now who's kept the device and who's kind of pulled in, would have been probably the next best step to do. Another thing, unfortunately, it somewhat interferes with what most likely Google's going to be putting out. Another smart thing would have been to align this with something like Google Fi. Because you can automatically, you can actually just turn this on automatically without a SIM card. Yeah, because I did it in my testing.
Oh, speaking of SIM cards, there's no embedded SIM, right? There's no eSIM, right?
Is that on the 2?
Yeah, on the 2, there's no eSIM yet. I know the 1 doesn't have it, but the 2 doesn't have an eSIM, right?
Well, the 1 does, because I was able to put on my when I had the first one, I was able to put up.
It does. It has eSIM.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, one eSIM and one nano SIM.
Okay, one eSIM and one nano SIM. Okay. I'm gonna go back to.
And it also does. Juan did chime in on that. The Duo, the original Duo and the second Duo do have display out.
Yeah, it has display out, but they're not taking advantage of that.
For a company that made Continuum,
yes,
the original idea of this whole thing, they don't put that somewhere on a device, on a mobile device like that. It's like I don't get what they're doing. So, it looks cool. It looks nice. It's a great idea, but I think they're making something that's so super niche that can't expand beyond what the audience is going to be there for, and it's. And they're going to look at this when they have their business meetings and look at the profits and look at the margins and look at the bottom line, and then might say at some point, well, we got to give up on this because this isn't making us money. But they haven't done anything, the right moves to put it in a position where it can continue to make money.
Is this enough right here? Is that enough?
Let me see here. I can't see it.
Let me see if I can zoom. Display port
Display
out.
port
I
out.
don't think that's enough. I think they should, because if LG can make an interface to have like a desktop mode, when you're plugged in, and Huawei's been doing it wireless for how long?
The wireless would make kind of sense with this thing, given that
Yeah.
it would almost make. I think in some ways wireless decks kind of gimmicks it out a bit, but in the Surface's case, I think wireless would make sense.
Like a wireless desktop mode.
Yeah, that would actually kind of
even
make
if it's not wireless, just having a desktop mode would be sweet, and given the option for, because okay, so they let's talk about it not having Windows at all. I personally thought originally it was supposed to run Windows, but it got scrapped, right? And the idea got scrapped, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do they come back and do an updated version or a second version that runs Windows? Because honestly, I would rock with that. It doesn't have to. It's not going to be Windows mobile either.
They have to be sitting back there and developing this.
They have to be thinking about that. Why would you want to run with Android instead of using your own OS? That just doesn't make any sense.
This is the thing I've been complaining about from the beginning when the Surface Duo got announced.
I thought it was going to run Windows.
I didn't get it. I
think we all were excited.
Man.
I know they're worried about apps. I get what they're worried about with the apps idea, but it would have been just like, give it time. Let it develop over time. You already are pushing ARM and making developers use ARM on Windows. So there's a space there for it that could possibly make this happen. And if you need to emulate a few apps here and there. And it also could be that you don't have to necessarily worry about the mobile-centric apps that are like on a smartphone on something in a Duo. Somebody might use different apps on that. And they might already have a smartphone and have their Facebooks and have their Instagrams and have their things on there. They might want a different set of apps used on their Duo. That's different. Yes. That's more productive. Yes. That's more for the things that they're looking for.
I don't think to Eric, I see your question here. I don't think it comes with the pin. Where'd it go?
Oh no, they doesn't come.
No, they ain't getting that. I think it's like $99.
You can't even get them to give you keyboards with the Surface Pro, even though that's the most logical thing possible. You can't even get them to do that.
I don't understand why I understand why, because they want to cater to a certain crowd. But reality is, folks, I think at some point you have to get over apps. Apps are really, because you have web apps now, thanks to Google, you can run an entire web store from a web browser. So Microsoft, to me, has a fantastic product, but not capitalizing on the things that I think they should be listening to. Like, they're too busy. People are too busy caught up thinking that we want Windows Mobile. Remember, Windows? They think we want Windows Mobile. No.
Yeah, no.
You can have full-blown Windows on here. It's just a small computer. So the fact that I think they have to be, like you said, I think they've got to be doing something in the background. They might just be afraid to put that Windows thing on there because people are going to instantly translate that to Windows Mobile. But it's up to them to market it a certain way. But don't you know how many people would probably buy this if it was full Windows?
Jay, the 512 is back in stock.
It is?
Yep, I knew it.
That was fast, man. I'm on it right now.
Who's on buying? Let's see.
Let me see.
I knew something was up with that.
I don't know, man. Maybe you hit the wrong
I would
button.
be okay. Oh, yep, you're right.
Buy it live right now. Let put it right now. You got it on the internet.
The pin, you gotta pay extra for that. Pin is $130.
Man, no, man. No.
The cases stayed the same price.
Not $100. Not happening. You don't. Let's talk. Now, we can praise this device all we want to, but and it is a great idea. Let's be clear. I'm all for it. I've been loving the Surface Duo. Really enjoy it. However, what could they have done to make you? Because it's all about personal preference. Individually, I think I've said it enough. I think they should have went with a smaller camera bump. And they pretty much could have kept the hardware the same to me, but I wanted them to capitalize on the software, and I wanted 12 gigs of RAM. Other than those things, I'm content with this technically. Fix my software and give me, if you're gonna put an external camera, make it smaller. But what's some changes that, and not just to the panel, to anybody watching this, what would have made this device make you say, I'm dropping everything, this is my daily driver?
Well, it's my daily driver now, so.
The Duo 2, I'm saying. The Duo 2.
I feel like for me, they hit all the points that I actually needed. Like I do wish they would have gave us 12 gigs of RAM. I don't think the camera bump with the 3 cameras was a needed thing. I think they could have got away with a good good sensor camera. Like, because that's all I feel like that's all you really needed with this was a camera for the outside. So in case you could take, whatever. But other than that, I think this device right here is great. But like I said, bigger battery, which they did. 12 gigs of RAM, camera. Mm-hmm. So other than that, in the software, software was the biggest thing for me. Once they fixed that software, where it's at to right now, I'm good. I went and bought 2.
Yeah. See, you have a little bit of an advantage because you got those devices at a good deal, and then you're making money. You're making money. Yeah, you're making money. B-Dub, is it good enough for you, or what could they have done different?
Given what the product is now, outside of my thought processes on the software side of things, I think yes, an external camera was nice. I wish it didn't have so much of a big as a hump, because I don't think it needed to be a triple camera setup. I think it needed maybe just a dual camera, something like how the Pixel 5a has it. Something simple, something a little flat that just takes better pictures than what you previously could get before. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be this stunning thing, because that's not kind of the idea behind what the Surface is. I really would have liked to see them improve the internal camera in a way that video calling gets even better. So just to get better video calling out of it, higher quality than what you would see out of other devices. I think that could have been a selling point for them on that. I like the 5G support. That's nice. That to me, that's more for future-proofing the device, more so than it is anything else. It didn't even have to be an 888. It could have been a cheaper chip. But as long as it had that 5G support, just to keep the device future-proof, would have been a nice thing. 12 gigs of RAM, obviously, at this price would have been a nice thing to see on here as well too.
It's out of stock again.
That's stupid. I couldn't even. I'm on the stream clicking over here, and it's already. But when I go to check out, it's already talking about it's out of stock. That's bull crap. You see that, right? It's bull.
Yeah.
For me, they capitalize.
Going to Juan's question here, I wouldn't mind them to make a device a little bit thicker. Okay, that's fine as long as it complements everything. Yeah, like
you don't even have to do a small. You can do a smaller. Look, Juan, look at this device right here, son. Look at this. This is not that thick, but if you just don't look at how thick, look, that's pretty thin. It's flush with the device, and so they should have been able to upgrade their camera quality and kept it flush or make it a little bit bigger. It's not impossible to have. Look at the Pixel, that small Pixel. What is it, the 3A? They had the single camera. That wasn't a thick device.
I don't know, man. I think they definitely would have had to make it thicker.
Because not much, man. I mean,
not much. I don't think we have to be in the thin range.
As thin as the USB port.
Going to 6 millimeters or whatever wouldn't have been a horrible switch just to get a better.
No, that's what I'm saying. They could have. They would have had to go thicker, and I think that's what they didn't want to do.
No, but even if they didn't want to go thicker, and they could have done a flush camera on the back just like the front.
Yeah, but how much better?
You don't know that they can't. You're going theoretically on what it looks like. You don't build cameras on cell phones. You don't do any of the hardware. So you in your mind, you keep thinking that because it's so thin that it can't be done. But what century are we in? Where are we at? This is totally possible. You keep talking about depth with the sensor, but how did they do it the first time? This is the point I'm making. How did they do it right here? All they have to do is put it over here. Google has mastered the art since they linked up with Google. Google has mastered the art of software for cameras. Have they not? That's why everybody wants Gcam. See, Microsoft isn't doing it right. They can totally have a camera on the back that's flush and get that software right. It's not about the hardware that they can't. I don't believe that. Because how did they do it on the front? If they can't do it, how did they do it here? How did it do it? He's typing and you focus like this. Juan says the only way they could do that to make sense is even making it even smaller sensor. But how did they do it on the front? The front has a third sensor, okay? So why not put it on the back and improve on the camera software?
I don't know. Maybe they suck at camera software. Who knows? I don't know.
That's why they need Google. That's why they need Google.
Yeah, but how much do you think Google's like, yo, does Google actually want to share that software they got over there?
You know what? Money talks. I say money talks.
Money does talk.
Money talks. If Google has mastered the art of software, why can't they give Microsoft a little piece of it to have the hardware look a certain way and get better? Because again, the big camera bump to me, and I know now. Listen.
Well, considering the number of patents that they all have to share and going between each other with Android, I'm pretty sure they could have made themselves a deal because Microsoft makes a ton of money on Android not doing anything.
Right.
So there definitely could have been some deals that could have been made.
I just feel like the big jumbo camera on the back is pointless and it's catering to a certain crowd, and they didn't listen. Let me say it this way: they didn't have to go that big. Agree? There's no way they had to go that big. They could have taken a smaller bump and made it down. It's just to say that they just can't do it. I respect you, Juan, but I disagree with that. To say that they just can't do it is impossible by today's standards.
Did they need every sensor as well?
What about if they say if they kept the 3 cameras, right? 3 camera sensors, and I'm just trying to figure out what you don't like about it. Is it the thickness that you don't like, or the width, or both?
Come on, son. I've been talking about this for a minute now.
No, I'm just saying.
Camera setup, it looks horrible.
So that's what I'm saying. So say if they rounded it off just like the the Fold 3, right? They rounded it off just like the Fold 3, and would it make a difference?
No, listen. What Samsung did with their folds is they made that sensor completely smaller and pushed it in a little bit on the fold from the 2 to the 3. Even with the Note 20 line, they made those smaller. So with the Microsoft, I'm not against them having a rear camera because they technically could put it here. They could put it wherever they want to. You've seen the prototype of the single small camera on the Microsoft. Remember? Everybody saw that everywhere. It had a single camera. But see, the problem I have with them trying to cater to the camera crowd is because who wants to shoot video like this? No, people laugh at people when they talk about holding an iPad shooting video. This will be the same thing with this jumbo.
Not no more, because now Apple's encouraging people to use the iPad Mini. So as a camera, now it's all about we got a camera on this, use it. But I mean, my whole thing is okay.
People laughed at Apple for doing this with their tablets, but the Surface Duo is now going to be the same thing with these jumbo cameras on the back.
So what I'm thinking is, like, I don't know until I get it in hand. I don't actually know what the thickness is. I haven't looked at it yet or whatever. But the way I'm thinking is, did they need to use so much space for the camera?
Well, listen, and just for the record, I'm not just because me and Juan are having this great conversation. This is just what I love. There's no right or wrong answer. He feels like this is his perspective on it, and this is mine. I totally feel like this freaking Surface.
I would have liked it to be like this. If you guys can, see
it's something smaller. Let me put you big real quick. Hold on, let me put you big. How do you do it?
I would like something like that.
How do you do it? Let's see. Wait, hold on, not me. You. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, okay, I can understand why that's flush because it's thicker.
Yeah, but it's not that much thicker, man. What's the thickness of that device?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but it's not
that much thicker.
Not that thick.
And they don't give you the thickness of the camera.
Yeah, I mean, Juan says, the bump is needed to include the Pixel 5 sensor. That's how I know they can't make it smaller.
Okay, so
use a different sensor. Because that's that catering to phone people. You see what I'm saying? That having these big fancy cameras is just
what I'm looking at, honestly, from looking at the diagram, that's why I say I can't speak until I have it in hand.
Yeah.
It's saying that the device, right? The Surface Duo right here, 5.5 millimeters.
Right.
If you look at the diagram, the camera doesn't look that thick. It looks like it might be maybe half of what this is.
I just feel like
So I feel like it might be like at least 3 millimeters.
I'm not against them doing a rear camera. I can deal without the rear camera as long as they upgrade the internal camera. But I think that if they're gonna do a rear camera, I think they did it wrong by putting that jumbo sensor on the back. They went too far ahead. They did that to please the crowd. What other reason would it be? Who's gonna walk around like? Because that's going to be a complaint. Oh, it has great cameras, but now you have to hold it. It looks stupid holding it like this. You know what they're going to say. And even me, even though I don't have it, I don't feel comfortable holding it, doing it like this. Because you see in the presentation, they were holding it like this. I don't take photos like this. I'm used to doing it with just a single like this. All of us are, no matter what we're using. So to hold it like this, to do your video now, is going to be weird. Yes, they oversold the cameras. They sure did. Because now, if the cameras don't impress, it's going to get called a failure again. Yep.
Let me see. Now, where'd it go? Give me a second. I'm going to zoom in on this thing. And I can't. It won't let me.
Just that size of the hardware, with the way they did it, I personally don't like it. I don't like it. I think they messed up by doing that. And I didn't need all these fancy cameras on the back of there. I just needed them to bring good quality. They got ultra wide, wide. It just goes. I think like what BW was saying. They're trying to cater, and I feel like this way too. They're trying to cater. They use selective listening and what they wanted to do with the marketing, and they chose to go that route. The cameras are probably going to be great. Who knows? I don't have them yet, but when I do, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be better quality than this single camera they have here. But the question remains is, did they need to do it like that so much?
I don't actually know.
Camera creativity.
I said I would have been good with just one camera on the back. It could have had the same thickness of the new camera. I could have done with one.
Well,
one camera that was better.
They're bragging about the low light too. Review in real time, powered by backed up by OneDrive is terrible for photos.
OneDrive is freaking horrible.
I love OneDrive for everything else, but
I don't like it for photos.
For their photo and their video management
it's all mine are unorganized
compared to Google Photos.
Yeah.
It is like no, it is.
And I don't even like Google Photos.
I love Google Photos.
I don't really like those.
I also came up during the Picasa days. So I really used
to I remember Picasa. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I like Picasa. I like that.
That's what it reminds me of now. It's very much like how I used to like with Picasa. So that's why I'm paying
Bobby
for Google
says hold it like this.
OneDrive.
Bobby says hold it like this. This is completely uncomfortable. I got a big arch in my arm right here, which means I'm gonna have to do it like this to make myself more comfortable on how I'm holding, which means I have to tilt the device like this. Holding the device in a complete L and trying to take a photo is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I really would have liked to see them really focus the cameras on improving video quality for phone calls more so than anything else. To just be that step ahead. To like, no, we're the like mobile device that's like your Zoom calls and your Teams calls are going to look legit on here compared to everyone else. Yeah. And I would have been interested to see if the rest of the community would have followed suit with that.
Yeah.
Well, they did. According to the specs, they improved the front camera, so we'll see.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
It's now 12, up from 11. So
we will see. I don't know. I think it's always going to come down to what expectations a person might have. So
I always think it's funny that like by requirement, every single Surface device they ever release, it does not matter what it is, they will have to show Xbox Game Pass on it. It's
I think
literally by requirement. I just laugh at it now because I get it. We know you can do it, but it's just funny that every single presentation of any hardware that comes from them has to show that it uses Xbox Game Pass.
It kind of shines on the Duo.
I'm gonna mute
Yeah, it
myself.
does. No, it does. I get it. Like I like it. I do. I think a lot of people are going to be doing it on there with that. Probably not that many. And I do. It's flexing the fact that it's an ubiquitous system. It doesn't matter where you want to game, you can game. And I get it. But it's almost becoming this meme. Like every single thing that they show that's anything horror related. Oh, by the way, it does run my Xbox Game Pass with my Xbox controller that I happen to be carrying with me at this time. Because we sell like 500 different versions of it.
I think that's what Grant said earlier. He said they should at least include that, period, since it's a Microsoft device.
At this point, they should be just giving away Xbox controllers like it's candy. They literally, every time you buy a Microsoft device, it should just come with an Xbox controller and 6 months of Game Pass. Like automatically.
Yeah. They can go ahead and do a year.
Yeah, just in the box.
They can go ahead and do a year for all
Let people sign up and they forget that they have it and they'll pay their $15 and just get it and keep going.
What they're counting on is the people that already have it.
Yeah.
Like the people that, because if you have Xbox, you have it. It's automatically in your subscription.
But it's just funny the way it's starting to become that meme across everything. It's like, yeah, an Xbox Game Pass does for this.
I think I used my Xbox controller once, and then I was
they'll be talking about the Surface Studio and look at all this coding and everything else and design on my website. But also, if I feel like gaming, I can get my Xbox Game Pass. It's like, what? It's at this point, and they really should push it like it's a meme. I actually think it's pretty good marketing for them to do.
Yep. Any marketing is, just some marketing though.
And just like I'm waiting for whatever random next device that they decide to show up and show off on or something like that. Like, here's our Surface camera. Did you know our Surface camera can connect to Xbox Game Pass? Like they'll find a way. The Surface glass. I'm surprised. Like whenever they announce another commercial version of the glasses again.
Oh man,
100%, they will absolutely have a Game Pass moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they did.
They sort of did it with Minecraft. It was like a Minecraft thing.
Do
but
you guys use Stadia? Stadia or Game Pass?
I use Game Pass.
Yeah, I have all three because I have to have them. I have them all.
I use Game Pass because it's already, like I said, it's already in my subscription. So it has all the games I actually want to play, especially like the older games or whatever. Stadia, man, I'm like, I had it when they was giving it away. I had it, and then I was like,
I have one back here. I still have that. I haven't even opened yet.
I didn't open it either. I
have Stadia, and I did my thing on Stadia. It's something that they should have never overpromised in the way that they did.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother rant outside this Duo stuff.
I don't disagree.
I just want them. I wish they would. Hopefully they do, but the software. Hopefully they integrate more with Google because, like, in other, hopefully the devs and stuff get on the ball with these apps, man. Because I would love, I love spanning certain apps, and then there's always those apps that you want to span that you can't, and then it just doesn't.
It looks ridiculous.
Right? I'm like, come on! Like, I would love to span Twitter and it come out like on this side is like certain stuff. Like it changes the orientation, almost like how when you're in mobile mode and then you go into desktop mode and it changes it, something like that, man. But
I don't know. Expanding Twitter to do any more would be just like a negative. I don't think that benefits anybody to give Twitter any more power.
No, it looks weird. It looks weird. All right, man. We rolling up on 2 hours, folks. I had a blast. Wednesday, obviously, this was my stream. I told you guys I would stream today because of the event. I might come on. I might do a stream on Friday. I'm not sure. It'll probably be same time, probably, if I decide to do one. I got some stuff coming up. But, man, all of you guys that came through, man, B-Dub, thanks for the short notice come through. Night Tech finally got you back on live. We are going to see what happens with the Microsoft Surface Duo. Love a good conversation. Shout out to Juan Bagnell. He kept the conversation going. He's a conversation starter. And everybody in the stream, Gigi, are you regulars? Yeah, Yellow Entertainment. I think all you guys come through a lot. JC, I see.
Yo, I didn't want to do this, but I figured, hey, this is the best time.
What's that?
I'm gonna show y'all the Surface Duo too, bro.
Oh my God, you so silly, man. Look, He's so stupid. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. It's my normal streaming time is Tuesdays. Streaming day is Tuesdays, but had to go ahead and get down and get some conversation going because I knew that would be very interesting to have a good conversation with everybody. So next Tuesday for sure. I will see you next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have some more guests on next Tuesday as well. My latest video, I'm gonna toss over to these guys in a minute, but my latest video, I talked about my Fold 3 and current setup. So be sure to check that out if you haven't already done so. So you know where to find me at on Twitter and stuff like that. But Night Tech, tell them what you got, man.
You can't find me nowhere. You can find me on Twitter at Night Tech Views, selling these lovely discounted devices.
Lord have mercy. B-Dub, I know you know who he is, but you can tell them where they can find you, your website and everything.
You guys can find me sometimes on Twitter at bw1.com. You might catch me on there when I like to open Twitter, which is not very often.
Right.
But you can also check me out on YouTube under BW1 as well too. I'm trying to be a little more active in the community tab there, so you can check me out there as well too.
Easy, I see you, man. Wire Wednesday tonight. Easy Computer Solutions will be on tonight. 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, I believe it is. So check him out. He's right there commenting right there. Let me put him up real quick before we get out of here. Wired Wednesday. He will be covering the Surface Duo. I am more than certain he'll be covering it as well. But I appreciate you guys, man. The Surface Duo 2, I will do my best to try to get that 512 gig. If I can't, I might wait a little bit. No rush for me. I'm just happy to be able to get it. And I don't know if I'm going to trade in my Surface Duo, but who knows? So it was a pleasure to have you guys on. I also wanted to give a special shout out. No, I'm not going to show the haters no love. Not this time. You know who you are. You know who you are that fell through. I saw you. But it's your man, Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Let's play my outro. Let's do some colors. Let's do some colors. Let's do it.